Hello everyone, welcome to Lit Studio. I'm Karishma. So today we will be discussing about formalism, which is another literary theory. Earlier we have discussed about new criticism and many of its main proponents and all the concepts given by them. So now we are diving into the concept of formalism. So this class is about introduction to formalism. So now formalism as a concept, it emerged in the year 19 in the 20th century, all right. So it emerged a bit somewhere around 1910 to 1930s, all right. So it is from 1910 to 1930s. So if you have like seen the before classes, you would understand that uh, formalism has come before new criticism, because new criticism was given in the year 1941, all right. So the theory of new criticism came around 1920s, but it was exactly given in the year 1941, and formalism as a concept came around 1910 and 1930s, all right. So now what does formalism represent? It represents a critical approach that prioritizes the analysis of a text inherent features over its extrinsic elements. What does it mean? It means that it analyzes what is already within the text rather than what is outside the text. Alright, it doesn't analyze the extrinsic elements of the text but the inherent features of the text which are present within the text itself, such as historical, biographical, and cultural context. So these are the aspects that the formalists do not look at. All right. So as these aspects are extrinsic features of any text, so formalists actually ask us not to look into these aspects while you are analyzing a text. All right. So simply put, it is actually a base upon which new criticism is actually built, all right. So if you have observed new criticism, new critics actually are quite similar with the formalists, all right. But what are the differences between new critics and formalists, if you are asked, we'll be discussing that later in the later part of this video. But as of now, you should understand that ask their approach was over the analysis of the intrinsic elements of a text rather than the extrinsic elements, all right. So this is very basic concept that you have to understand for you to understand the concept of formalism, all right. So now they emphasize on the importance of structure, form, and literary devices, arguing that these aspects are central to understand and appreciate any form of literature, all right. They emphasize on the importance of structure, form, and literary devices. So these are the intrinsic elements that we have talked about, all right. So now structure, form, and literary devices, as these are the intrinsic elements, the formalists argue that these are the only things that one should look at while they are analyzing a particular text, all right. So now what does the formalism as a critical approach focus on? It focuses on form and structure, all right. Its core belief is that a structure is paramount when you are analyzing a particular text, all right. A text is only possible within its structure, all right. It involves the analysis of grammar, syntax, meter, and other elements within the text. Okay, that's what we've discussed in the introduction as well. Grammar, which is actually a part of structure. Syntax is the order of the words, all right. Syntax. Meter and other elements within the text. Formalists argue that these elements contribute to the literariness of a work. I'll be making another video of on Viktor Shklovsky. He is the one who has given the concept of literariness, all right. He is a major formalist critic, so he has given the concept of literariness. So he says that that these elements, what are the elements? Grammar, syntax, meter, and other elements which are a part of the structure of any particular text contribute to the literariness of a work. All right, setting it apart from everyday language. What makes a work a part of literature? The language it uses, right? You and I, when we are communicating, we use a certain kind of language. But when you pick up a piece of work, and that piece of work you call literature because of the vocabulary that it uses, because of the literariness, because of the quality of literariness in it, right? So that is what makes it apart from everyday language. That's what they say in this theory. All right, according to the formalists, a text is self-contained and self-referential. That is the reason why you should never be looking at the extrinsic elements of the text. A self is self-contained, so it will always be able to analyze with all the things that are already inside the text. All right, formalists focus solely on the text, while new critics focus on the both form and content. All right, so as I've told, there is a little difference between the formalists and new critics. So what is the difference? The formalists focus solely on the text, that is the form of the text. All right, while new critics focus on both form and content. Formalists form. For new critics, it's both form and content. All right, I highly advise you to watch the videos on new criticism so you can understand the intricate details and differences between both these schools of literary theory. So there are three kinds of formalism. What are those three kinds of formalism we are going to discuss? They are mechanical, organic, and linguistic. Okay, I think the names are very self-explanatory, but I'll make you understand with good details. So mechanical is using a literary work as a machine to fulfill a purpose, instilling thoughts. For example, if you use a literary work, for example, Karl Marx has written Communist Manifesto. So, or else you can take the work Animal Farm by George Orwell. He has, through the work, he wanted to attack communism. All right, so that is the reason why he actually wrote the work. All right, although it's given in an allegorical nature, but the purpose of the work and the ideas and thoughts of the author are actually instilled into the work. Only then the piece of work is used as a machine to get the purpose, to fulfill the purpose of the writer. All right, and that is called mechanical formalism. All right, wherein a literary text is used as a machine. I hope you understand it. When an author tries to communicate his thoughts using that particular book as a machine to reach his audience, all right, so then it would be called a mechanical formalism. And then there is organic formalism. A literary work belonging to a particular genre would find similarities within it which are organic in nature. For example, actually, Morphology of Folktale, which was written by Vladimir Prop in 1928. Vladimir Prop is one of the very famous formalists. He has also belongs to this organic formalism. But if you want a little easier understanding to this particular approach, for example, if you take an element of tragedy, let's take few tragedies like Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, and few other tragedies. If you observe them carefully, there would be certain similarities, like the main protagonist dying, etc., which would actually naturally place this under this genre, tragedy as a genre, right? The similarities between these texts actually organically and naturally place them within the genre they belong to. So that is called organic formalism. And then there is linguistic formalism. Linguistic formalism is actually quite similar to mechanical formalism. It talks about practical language and poetic language. So if you have actually gone through my previous videos of new criticism, I have discussed a theorist called I.A. Richards, who has given a concept called two uses, two kinds of language. All right. He says that there are two kinds of language. One is scientific and emotive. So that is what even this um, linguistic approach to formalism even mean. So they say that there is one kind of language called the practical language, which you and I would be using in our everyday conversations, and then there is other thing called poetic language, which we would be observing in the poetry. All right. So that would be the focus of formalism. And now in formalism there are three schools of formalism. One is Opusas. It is a society for study of poetic language. All right. So it is located at St. Petersburg. Writers under this Opusas school are Viktor Shklovsky, Boris Ekenbaum, Vladimir Prop, and Yuri Tianov. I request you to please observe these writers and please make a note of these writers so that you can have a better understanding, and the questions from these writers would be very prominently seen in your UGC NET question paper. So please make sure you read them and you memorize these writers. All right. Viktor Shklovsky, Boris Ekenbaum, Vladimir Prop, and Yuri Tianov. And then there is other school called Moscow Linguistic Circle. This included theorists like Roman Jakobson, Boris Tomaszewski. And then the third school of this particular formalism is Prague Linguistic Circle. The main proponent of this particular school is Svetan Todorov, famous for narratology, and Roman Jakobson, who was a part of Moscow Linguistic Circle, is also a crucial part of this Prague Linguistic Circle as well. And then there is Rene Wellek. All right, these are all the prominent people associated with the theory of formalism. And I hope I made myself very clear. I want you to know the period in which it emerged and what is the approach it prioritized for the analysis of any particular text. So it made very clear that only the intrinsic element of any text are very important to analyze any text over the extrinsic elements. All right, that is the entire base idea of formalism. All right, and then we've discussed all these concepts, that structure, form, and literary devices which are used in a text are to be studied rather than the historical, cultural, and biographical aspects of the text. All right. So this is all that you need to know about formalism, and I'll be making another video on Viktor Shklovsky, who is a very prominent figure on belonging to the school of formalism. So now we are done with this. I hope you understand everything. Now you can take a screenshot. You can take a screenshot of this and make sure you note every important point that you find can be given in the examination in your running notes. All right. Okay then. Thank you.